Hello everyone, here we are yet again with another episode in the series of talks. It's been exhilarating to see your engagement with us, and this drives us to strive even more to bring you the most interesting conversations. Today we have with us Mrs. Smita Aspengekar, COO of TelioEV. With over 20 years of experience in managing legal, compliance, operations, business strategies, she is definitely a proven industry veteran. Welcome, ma'am. Really looking forward to converse with you and to listen to your perspective towards the challenges of e-mobility.
Hey, thank you, Aditya. It's a pleasure coming here. Okay.
So, as our audience has already been acclimatized, we shall proceed with seeking answers from you to a few questions that we have been wondering about. Shall we begin?
Please.
Okay. So, firstly, what are your thoughts on the progress of the EV industry currently?
Okay. Currently, both the technologies and companies are new to the market. And the product they are manufacturing are possibly facing the real customer for the first time. Okay. And it's nearly impossible to make such a complex product like the automobile perfect for the customer in the first go. It's difficult. So, as expected, the buyer may face or they are facing many issues. Now, vehicle like I'll say RV400 or ePluto 7G and Nexon, all of them has updated their vehicle to very high extent. After all, after taking the customer feedback and their reviews, they are improving. And I'll say recently, Pure EV has made a lot of changes in their policies, software, hardware. Even Tata Motors has upgraded their BMS and regime software after taking customer feedbacks. So buying the vehicle from the first batch of company's production would be an bitter experience for the user. But I will say EV is inevitable and IC vehicle technology need to completely vanish if today or someday for sure. But then what is more important is opting the EVs very smartly. Be smart investor and be smart user for this growing gold mine industry.
Thank you, ma'am. Very nice to see that EV industry has been progressing and progressing this fast. And moving on, so what are your thoughts on some major challenges that the EV industry is facing? And would you like to mention a few of them?
Sure, Aditya. See, this industry is totally new. So obviously, any new industry would be having some challenges, right? So if I want to mention few, first and most important is because of undeveloped infrastructure, there is a huge anxiety. Actually, this is a new era or new technology of EV. So obviously, the infrastructure is in a development stage. It is not yet completely developed. So people face lot of anxiety. This problem is due to the mental pressure which comes due to the lack of charging infrastructure, which is right now improving day by day, but still there is a lot of improvement area. Okay. Many companies are offering a mad range of EVs in ideal condition like 200, 180 or 150. But in real condition, 150 kilometer is also a dream. And if you are from the category of an average Indian male with some luggage you are carrying on your bike, so and that too in the city condition, definitely you should be satisfied with the 100 kilometer driving range. In electrical cars also, the loading capacity may not have much impact, but for the small vehicles like electrical scooter or electrical bikes, even a small difference in the driving condition can impact your EV range a lot. So as I mentioned, the undeveloped infrastructure, or I will say developing infrastructure, is the first problem which EV users are really facing right now. This is the first hurdle, I will say. Now, second is the bigger problem is non-universal chargers and the ecosystem. Or I will say in another words is a lack of standardization of chargers. The every second electrical vehicle manufacturing company has their own different charging ports, which is becoming harder to setting up the proper charging ecosystem. Also, many EV users complain about facing moral trouble for charging their vehicle in different EV manufacturing company charging station, which is I will say this is a bigger impact for the growth of EV industry. So lack of standardization is the biggest problem right now for this developing EV infrastructure. Just like an electrical car, you get a specific charging port like CCS2, or the electrical two-wheeler and three-wheeler may maintain the similar chargers to achieve the mass adoption of electrical vehicle. Now, third is another, I will say, the battery performance in various environmental conditions. Because, temperature can affect the performance of EV battery in very large extent.
Yes, I heard that.
Now, there is another one. There is I will say, fourth one, that very few academic and local skill awareness. I think, suppose if you are traveling and if your EV got some technical problem, in that case, definitely you required a skilled worker to repair that EV, right? So I think creating academic awareness or focusing on the development of various skill set required in EV industry, this is today's need actually. Now there is another problem, I will say fifth problem, that is a less performance of ideal economy. Now, you know that IC engine driven vehicles is old technology and still we are ahead of electrical vehicle when it comes to when we are comparing the performance. Now, in order to make sure that EV is giving the, promised range, it becomes highly important to drive the vehicle at lower performance and be aware of maximum uses of reaching. Now, one more problem is there, like increasing electricity demand nationwide, because it's just a matter of assuming that the increment of electrical demand when everyone in the city is using solely electricity to charge their vehicle, it will be horrible increment in the demand of electricity. And as of now, we are majorly depend on burning fossil fuel for generating electricity. Until we use renewable source of electricity or the energy for generating electricity, the revolution will take some time. And last but not the least, I will say environmental concerns, because EV revolution is necessary for most populated and polluted part of India like Delhi, Mumbai, etc. But such cities, the major chunk of electricity is generated through burning the fossil fuels, which is equivalent to spreading the pollution through the IC engine smoke. Even most of the charging stations are reportedly operating upon diesel-driven electricity generators. So I'll say only unless and until we don't switch over to the renewable energy sources like solar power, wind energy, tidal power, etc., I'll say this is the biggest hurdle of the EV development right now.
Certainly, ma'am. Thank you. It was really mind-opening to know what challenges the EV industry has been facing, and we
Right.
hope that the increasing technology standards will help overcome these issues. Now, moving on to the next question. So, ma'am, there might be multiple solutions for a single problem. Let's take into consideration a simple component like a battery. So, one of the major challenges that pops up is the cost of this component. Could you please share some thoughts on how it has become this challenging?
Very good question, Aditya. The cost is most concerning point of the individual when it comes to the buying an electrical vehicle. However, there are many incentives given off by the central government and state government. But the common condition in all policies is that incentives are only applicable for up to a certain number of vehicles, and after removing the discount and incentives, the same EV which we are looking lucrative for the buy suddenly becomes unaffordable. Now, this tells us that buying EVs is no more be a cheaper after certain saturation point.
Hmm.
Now, battery cost is going to be a pressing issue for the EV buyers because electrical vehicles are new to both market as well as customer. The battery issue required at least, I think, 5 years to surface this and will going to be impacted in the long run. Still, we have seen some massive updates on the development of methods to reduce cost of the vehicle. For take example of like batteries as a service. Why don't you have to pay the price of battery? you can get a subscription for it, right?
Mm.
So these are the ways we can reduce the pricing of, but right now, yes, pricing is the issue for the EV vehicles.
Certainly, really looking forward towards developments in the battery department of electric vehicles. This might really, help and push towards the EV industry. And moving towards the next one, ma'am, infrastructural challenges are here in India, and we can see the progress with mass adoption of charging station development by the governments. Would you like to shed some thought on this one?
Sure, Aditya. This is also one of the important question, and I think I mentioned in the challenges which are there for the development of EV infrastructure, like undeveloped infrastructure, or I will say developing infrastructure among the is the most pressing issue among the people which are thinking to opt for the electrical vehicle. Now, this undeveloped infrastructure doesn't only include the lack of charging station, but also lack of charging setup in their home. Okay. Charging is a heavier charging of any heavy electrical car could be major problem for any electrical car owner if she or he lacks a proper charging setup like powerful MCB or wire or earthing near their places. Now, Government of India has set a target of electricity of 70% for all commercial vehicles, 30% for private cars, and I think 40% for the buses, and 80% for the two-wheelers and three-wheelers by the 2030. Okay, this target entails the simultaneous penetration of charging station across the India. The government of India has supporting the EV industry through the scheme just like FAME 1, FAME 2, which you called as a FAME 1, FAME 2, with a major focus on charging infrastructure. The industry players too have been quite optimistic, shown an active interest in overall EV charging ecosystem. While EV are being worked upon to a major OEMs and ecosystem for the development of charger, charging station, and other services are steadily being built. This is what I can say right now.
Okay, ma'am, thank you. Really happy to see that India has been progressing towards the right direction, and hopefully
Right.
EV comes to its full potential in the coming future.
Keeping
And
my finger crossed.
yeah,
Yes.
sure. Also, moving towards the next one, ma'am, the major issues that people are facing and the biggest fear right now are the temperature related issues and range anxiety. So, would you like to share how the industry is coping up with these issues?
Yes, definitely. I would like to say something over here because you know that India is having a very vast difference in the temperature condition. If you compare it from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, we can see various ranges of temperature in the India unit. Now, temperature can affect the performance of EV battery up to large extent, which makes EVs, I will say, little bit inappropriate for too cold condition like Uttarakhand or Meghalaya, and like for too hot region, if I say Rajasthan or Kerala. The batteries can give this ideal performance only when it is used under the temperature range of 15 degree to 40 degree centigrade. But I will again repeat that there are many companies which are conducting extensive research on the performance of battery. We have working on there are we have companies which are working on the battery technology to provide the range of 1,000 kilometer in a single charge. You must have heard that NASA is also currently working on EV charging technology because they are aiming to charge EV in 5 minutes. So many more researches are going on, and definitely this will bring a vast difference in the EV industry.
Certainly, ma'am. Looking forward to these technologies. And moving towards the next question, ma'am. What are your thoughts on the progress of academics and how these industries are helping in the development of the skill sets of the people working in this
Sorry.
sector?
Okay, as I mentioned, one of the hurdle, okay, in development of EV industry is the skilled workers. Okay,
Yes.
so if you remember in my last webinar, I mentioned what are the opportunities there for the students or the upcoming generation in the EV industry, because EV push is necessary along with the academic awareness and important to the students of upcoming generation. because the EV spare parts and servicing industry is another essential part of growth of EVs. When one person is stuck with the broke IC engine, he or she can easily find the help from the customer support, which is nearby to her or him. But then when you are about to electric vehicle, it is surely a tedious task to find someone who can fix or who can help you in that condition. So I feel university right now are focusing on these technologies, but they also have some plans to incorporate, EV technologies in their curriculum and updated knowledge skill set for their students. But still, I think students also should very wisely choose this sector, because this is a growing structure, and I think that is a great career in this industry.
Mhm. Indeed, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time, ma'am. It was a pleasure to have you here. And as always, I would like to conclude this webinar by welcoming the audience to interact directly with us on LinkedIn and Facebook, and also follow us on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Thank you.
Welcome, guys. Welcome for this webinar. Thank you very much for joining us. And Adit, it's great pleasure to talk with you and share my thoughts with you. Looking forward to meet with you all again. Thank you very much.